Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bub and Rumbuka joined us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot nanny.
Hey everyone, welcome along to Trackside with Kokpit, Kinser in Booker. Back for another Wednesday. I've been a bit AWOL over the last week or so, been busy otherwise, but my good friend there, of course, held the ship and it didn't sink, which is good news. And he's down there and amongst all the rally fans, part of the Daybreaker Rally. But it's good to be back here and good to see you, my friend Books. How are you, mate?
Yeah, my microphone's just been a bit silly then. Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I spent the day today out at watching them do testing out the back of Fielding there, which is pretty exciting. Got to see T-Mac have a go on a starlet again for the first time in 9 years. Watched Hayden Patton and Emma and all the crews, and of course Brendan that's with us, to Australia from over there. He was having a run in the car, but he's never driven before, so it was cool to watch them all and watching the processes, actually, to be fair, Kins, of what they do. Like, they go have a run, come back, and they're making so many changes. It surprised me how many changes were being made, like, for this type. You don't expect that in a rally case, sort of thing. Oh, yeah, they have it sort of set up and away they go. But, mate, there's so much more into it than what people realise.
Excellent. So, Daybreaker, just down where you are, actually, you're pretty well on the scene, mate. You've been living it over the last few days. You've caught up with your friends down there as well. And you did the big build up last Wednesday to Daybreaker. Obviously, the gentlemen and the other people behind the scenes get excited to the event. Look, we know it's had a bit of a hiatus in some time, but it's good to be back. And they're excited for, like you said, you're privy enough to see the big build up to it as well. Trackside with Kokpit brought to you by the crew at Garage16. Just, I think, last week or might be the other day, our good friend Aaron Lewis from Garage16 had his birthday, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, on Sunday, his birthday Aaron for Sunday, and he also had a big win of the feature of our DW late models we race on a Sunday. So I think he was pretty happy about that too. It's pretty cool. But the other thing too, I'd just like to make a mention too today is like, I think sponsors and people came out and got to go for rides and with Hayden and with Brendan, and I just think that's just a great initiative, that they hire that road for the day and they bring out the sponsors and all the people involved and different people, and you can see the smiles on people's faces when they get out, and I hear them take off and go around that first corner, and I'm telling you now, Brendan and Hayden were not releasing an inch, mate. They were into it, and I just think that's really cool that they're doing that. And also some lucky kid on the More FM here, is it More FM or one of the radio stations here in Hawke's Bay, in Palmy, tomorrow morning will get picked up by Hayden Patton and driven to school.
Hey,
yeah, there was a competition, and Hayden has, I think this is just a great initiative of, like, I was talking to Hayden about it today, and it's a way to, take away that separation between the fans and the drivers, because unfortunately the drivers get put on, without sounding mean, they get put on this pedestal, and sometimes I think it makes some of the fans and the young kids too scared to go and talk to them. But when they see them in this new light of what they're doing and how we portray them all the time, it's just a great thing. So some young kid tomorrow is going to get picked up by Hayden Patton and driven to school. I think it's in his rally car. I'm not sure, but I'm sure probably Brendan or Malcolm can confirm that when they come in. But yeah, it's just a great initiative, mate. It's this whole rally is bringing it back to the fans. Like they have a stop in Fielding halfway through the day on Saturday for 30 minutes, and the only reason for that is they stop at Repco and Fielding, And the only reason for it is so fans can go talk to the drivers. So the whole rally stops for half an hour just for the fans to go and to mingle and talk. I mean, how freaking awesome is that, mate?
Tell me, this young kid that's going to win this competition to go to school with Hayden, is Hayden going to pull a handbrake and do a bit of a skid around in the school?
I don't know.
Why not?
Do you want to give you a slider on your Go XL, a bit of a slide down a bit, mate? You're peaking.
Oh, my volume?
Yeah, you're just peaking for me. The people might be noticing it.
Oh, okay. I no one said nothing, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, that's better. I can just see it peaking every time you laugh.
Oh, just thinking what you're talking about with the.
But no, that'd be cool if they did do that for the kid, eh? Like, imagine that. How cool would that be, mate? You know, like seriously, that'd be just out the gate.
I did see that on their Facebook page. I seen a pop up about there it is. Yeah, More FM. Hayden Ride to School. Hayden will be announced at 8:25. Might have been this morning. So the lucky winner, I think, would know by now. He was drawn at 8:25 on 92.2 More FM. 102. So there you go.
It's just such a cool idea, isn't it? You know, like, I mean, anything that brings the fans closer to the drivers, I think, is great because, I mean, yeah, if a driver can encourage a young person to suddenly decide, hey, I want to be a rally car driver, I mean, that's awesome for the sport. We see it, you know, they're not lucky in the rally like they are in Speedway, where we have a class in Speedway that bleeds drivers through. But with rallying, I don't think there's really anything to bleed these drivers through in. Maybe the boys will be able to tell us when we talk to them, but you know what I mean? Like, it worries me, to be fair.
Hey, you know what? You know, and it kind of rolls on to what we did, mate. We had the opportunity for a young child to win a drive in a parade, you know?
Yes.
Let me stop there. At the Palmy teams, and that lucky kid got to join us with the Reeves, you know, with the Giants, and that young kid, I think, from down Christchurch from memory. But, you know, overall, it was really good. All right, just doing a bit of a quick shout out here before we continue on, bring the boys in. Aaron Ferguson, Scott Honeybone, Brian England, Mike Harvey, Wayne Otten, Thomas Scott, Hilton Parker, Grant Fowler, Lars from over there in Laws. He's on the West Island. So g'day, Lars Bosfield. Amron's on there watching as well. So yeah, we've got a few of the fans that they're watching. All right, so we're bringing our guests, mate.
Let's bring in Brendan and Malcolm. Hey, gentlemen, how are we?
Good, thanks, guys.
G'day, boys. You all right?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, how was your steak meals? All good?
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, it's good to come back and have a Kiwi steak.
There's something about it, eh, Malcolm, coming back home and having a decent steak, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Steak and a beer.
Brendan, of course, like Booker mentioned, you know, from Australia and that, and obviously well known when it comes to rally racing over the many years you've been racing and what you've achieved. But it must be good to be back in New Zealand. You know, you've attended many NZ rallies over the years gone by, but how good is it to be back at the Daybreaker?
Oh, really good, guys. Yeah, it was probably COVID stuffed things up quite a lot for me coming over here. I would have liked to have been over much earlier. But yeah, it's really cool to get back and be working with Hayden's team as well, with my connections with Hyundai Australia. So that link's worked really well, and you know, it's a one-off, but you never know. If we do a good job and Hyundai like it and we have a good time, we would try and do more, you know.
Look, Booker made mention, talking about Hyundai and all that type of stuff. Hayden's going to take one young kid to school, you know, and we're touching on that. Where Booker mentioned, you know, in the world of Speedway, there's a development class coming through. We call it mini stocks as such. And is there anything in rally that any of you gentlemen can allude to that gives a younger generation a bit of a stepping stone into the sport?
I know in Australia there certainly is. Like, I started in a thing called autocross, and then previous to that you could do motorcanas. So motorcanas 12 to 14 years old, and then autocross is 14 onwards. Plus you can start being a co-driver from 14 years old in Australia. It's similar here.
12 here in New Zealand.
12. Yeah. So that a lot of people, like drivers, will even start as a co-driver because you can sit beside your dad or your friend or someone experienced, learn the co-driver side of it, but also you're learning the driving side too, because you're sitting beside them watching them drive. And it's a really good way to start in the sport without spending much money too, because you're not having to prepare the car, you're co-driving and doing that side of it.
Malcolm, you know.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Karen.
I was going to say, did you say 12 years old they can start co-driving, Malcolm?
Yes, you can. Yeah. So both Jared and Amy, that of course Amy is sitting with Brendo, and Jared that's sitting with Hayden. I believe they both started at 12. I was doing rally sprints at 12, but yeah, you can start as well doing full blown rallies now from the age of 12 here in New Zealand. So the other one too with the motorcarnas and autocrosses that we've got those here as well in New Zealand. And a lot of car clubs in New Zealand, Hamilton Car Club, for example, the Hawke's Bay Car Club, they all have, the clubs are quite established and they've got private land, which the clubs own, and they'll do the autocrosses and the motorcarnas in their own land. So effectively, they govern it, the whole lot, lock, stock, the lot. You can go to the car club on, say, a Wednesday night, do the autocross, and of course, in the prize giving, everything's held at the club site. So that's probably the cheapest and easiest way to get into motorsport in terms of rallying and that side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the Hawke's Bay Club because they do the quarter scale remote control in the middle of it, and
yeah.
I've had a few beers in those club rooms. They're very good club rooms. Yeah.
yeah.
But when you take it about, like what Booker said right at the start there, he's been very lucky to be out there where it's all been built up and seeing so much action behind the scenes. You know, for some of our viewers on the show who don't really familiarise themselves with rally, there is just so much. You know, there's a lot of setups that carry on, getting adjusted to what's happening out there. So there's just so much that goes on.
Yeah, at like the testing today for sure.
Yeah.
Like there was 4 drivers, 4 different cars, 4 different lots of suspension.
Can you hear that? Can I just sorry, I'm going to step outside and just tell T-Mac to shush.
This little starlet at the back.
Hey, turn it up if the starlet's running. We'd like to hear that. Yeah, and every driver has a different way of driving as well, and different set of pace notes. So there's so much that we all need to work on, especially someone like myself that hadn't driven that car before and hadn't worked with Amy before. So today was like going back to school for me and really trying to make it all gel for the weekend.
And what about yourself, Malcolm, getting prepared for the weekend?
Yeah, so certainly even for me and Emma, it's our first time working together. We've known each other for quite a long time, competed against each other, but to actually now both be in the same car and you know, her listening to me read her pace notes and me understand her pace notes, it was a good chance to come up to speed. The second side of it is, of course, the last round that Emma done was the Southern Lights Rally, which was down in Invercargill, which was very fast. So you go from a very fast rally, which is top speed, you know, 4th, 5th gear is absolutely tapped out, to now the Daybreaker is quite a technical rally. It's probably more a 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th gear corners. So you've got to get the car rotating, turned in a lot different to probably the high speed, making sure it is, you know, stable at higher speed. So you're playing around with suspension and that whole feel of making the car work in a different scenario.
I thought I saw you slowing her up a bit today, actually, though, Malcolm. When they're doing the tyre change, I thought she was a bit quicker than you, mate.
Yeah, it's quite hard when you got helmets on and things like that. No, we're still trying to work out a process, and even to a point, that's another side of it. You know, like a new team, it's working out that process of who does what, even with just a tire change. So something like that, if you can get back out in a reasonable time, you don't then get stuck behind the following car. So you want to be able to get out, get that tire changed, because the cars start at a minute interval. So if you can get it changed, you're doing very well if you get it changed under a minute. But, you know, if you can get it changed in a minute 10 and back in that car and get going, or a minute 20, you're then not stuck behind the second car. So it means you can get back going and not lose even more. But if you get your tyre changed in a minute 50, you're then going to get stuck behind another car. You're going to eat their dust, and effectively you probably lose another 30 seconds being stuck in dust. So, yeah, right down to even practicing a tyre change. It's the amount of stuff that goes into it when it's a new combination, like, as I said, Brendo and Amy, or for this weekend, and moving forward, Emma and myself.
I was,
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
it
so
was
what
quite
do you-
shocked me when I turned around and I saw you come sprinting out of the back of the car. I saw Emma jump out and sprint, and I thought, fuck, have they got a fire or something? What the hell's going on? And next thing I see, you run around with this thing, which I thought was an extinguisher, and it was a jack, and you're bang, 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 the car's up, Emma's doing the wheel. I'm like, oh, they're practicing a tyre change. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought
Yeah,
there was a
no.
problem with the car. I was like, oh no. And everybody else around was like calm as. I was thinking, they don't seem to be panicking much.
Yeah, there's no service crew out in the middle of Ridge Road, so yeah, it's all on our heads.
Did you not think to do something like that, Malcolm? You guys sort of talked about that, or with your new co-driver this weekend? Sorry, Brendan.
So you're right. Yeah, we sort of went through the same process as well. Had to, because the new car for me, like it was for Malcolm, so learn where the rattle gun is, where the jack is, and then we found there's a couple of things that we actually needed in the car in case the rattle gun went flat. We said, righto, we need a breaker bar in the car, so we added one of them to the car as well. So yeah, it's definitely something you want to go through now, because on these long stages, there's a couple of stages over 30 kilometres. If you get a puncture anywhere before probably 20 kilometres, you're going to be changing it. So it's important to learn that. It will really help your end result.
How
So-
important
so what-
is... Oh, sorry, Kins, go.
What car are you actually driving? Because it's a whole new thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm in the car that Hayden's driven in the last two rallies, a Hyundai AP4. It's an i20. And Hayden will be in his newer car, his Hyundai i20N Rally 2. So the AP4 that I'm driving was built here in New Zealand, and the team's developed the car. And Hayden's got a new car from Hyundai Motorsport in Europe.
Oh, okay. So that has the old one's from Force, isn't it? Is that right? The one you're driving.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So back when that car was developed, I was actually driving one of Andrew Hawkswood's cars, a Mazda.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of work back then helping develop that car. And then Hayden's team's done a hell of a lot of work and a lot of rallies in his car. He said he keeps going to retire the car, but he keeps bringing it back out because it's too much fun. So I got to learn it and drive it today, and I can back that up.
So you enjoyed that today, having that road and having a go with that car?
Yeah, like there's so much. The road was super unique for me. I wouldn't find a road like that in Australia, I wouldn't think. Maybe something in Tasmania, but certainly not something where I live. There's no hills at all, really. So the road was outstanding. And then having such a good car, a world-class car to drive on it and learn, and then working with Amy, it was just a great day.
Yeah, that's...
Do you think, Malcolm, you might have a bit of an upper hand knowing some of these New Zealand roads?
I've been away overseas for the last couple of years, so it's been a while since I've done the Daybreaker. I think the last time I was down this way was certainly probably good, 2015, something like that. Rally Extreme days, I think, was when we last used these roads, and that was more over actually towards the Wairarapa. So, yeah, the main one probably is just you pull on all your skills. I think in general. I mean, and Brendo's done enough around the world to be turning up this weekend with the right mindset and all that and everything. Anyway, like the fact that you don't know the roads intimately certainly doesn't hamper someone of Brenda's caliber or Emma or myself that have done a lot of rallying. You pull on all your knowledge to draw it all together and put the result together. So hence why we practice tyre changes. Hence why you'll do the recce over the next couple of days. You'll look at your videos, you'll study linking of the corners, and you'll pick up little bits and pieces and sort of pull all that knowledge together to hopefully put a good result together on Saturday.
Yeah, that's we talked about it today out there, Malcolm, as well, about the Speedway people. And it
Yeah,
didn't take
yeah.
long, mate. It didn't take long.
Yeah.
Hey, Harley Rob, of
Yeah.
course. You knew that was coming, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
He reckons,
Good old Harvey.
tell him Reed his super stock has grass growing through it in the paddock.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was in a container. I've been paying to keep it in a container. Where's that money going?
Probably having a
Probably
few
his
beers.
bar bill. Yeah, it'll be going to his bar bill. Yeah. No, we're certainly in the home of Speedway here in Palmy, aren't we?
Well, yeah, that's
Wow.
right. I said to him today, kids, make sure, you know, when he sees the second car on the track, it doesn't tell Emma to turn right, to put it up the wall. You know? So, for yourself, Brendan, do you do anything else? Like Malcolm does Speedway and he also does the rally, and he's been very good at the Speedway, very good blocker. Have you done anything else with your career like you do your rallying? Did you do anything else, mate, besides that, or in driving type thing?
Not really, but my dad was a demon at Speedway. He started Speedway at 14, I think, and ran for 3 years, saying he was 16 years old. And our home track was, or his home track was Bendigo, and it was massive back in the day. And I never got to see him race Speedway because he retired really young. But he sort of got to the top in Australia in a super sedan. It was called Scorpio, an old Monaro. They built a SLR 5000 Tirana as well. And we've got the old body shell of the Monaro in the shed at home with a couple of old Datsun 1600s. So, yeah, I was really into Speedway when I was a kid. We'd still go and watch because Dad was really into it. But sort of what got me into rallying was Dad then stepped into rallying after Speedway. He sort of got sick of getting taken out by other cars. So a friend of his dropped off a 1600, and I think it had like an aluminium cage, but wasn't really tuned much. Had twin Webers on it, and he said, "Oh, I'll just leave this over here for a month and drive it around a bit." So Dad would take it for a drive after work, and he's like, "What's this rallying stuff? This thing's awesome." And so he got hooked on rallying. And it's really in the family, like a lot of people. My sister lives in America. She's a co-driver. My brother rallies and I rally as well. So I think it was in the blood from when I could walk that I wanted to be a rally driver.
Yeah, I think T-Mac was giving me a bit of history on you and your family and who they drove for or co-drove for around the world and stuff. It's quite a prestigious thing there you've got going, and family-wise it was always going to be, I think, for you.
I think so, and Rhiannon's probably the most unique one. Like now she co-drives for Travis Pastrana in the Subaru team in America. So that's an amazing achievement to get to that level. But she was like a state league netballer, and I started rallying, and she said to Dad, "I want to co-drive for Brendo," and he's like, "Oh, you better hurry up and learn." So she was really lightweight and really keen and organised. She was a school teacher at the time, so we both sort of learnt and went up through the ranks together, which was really good fun because I think being a brother and sister team was pretty unique. But it's a bit tricky now with her being in America and having such a good job over there. She's not gonna come sit with me too much more. But I've actually had her husband Alex sit with me now as well. So yeah, I call on them as much as I can still.
That's cool.
Good. You know, you're talking Brendan actually had a bit of a dabble at netball. Did you do anything else aside from turning the wheel left and right?
Yeah, so I started go-karting at 7 years old. I did go-karting till I was 11, but it just got a bit too competitive. I didn't sort of like the dad involvement in the go-kart. It just got a bit argy-bargy. So I said, "Oh, look, Dad, I don't want to do this anymore." And I went and played Australian rules football. So I did that till I was 14 and sort of got to a state level, but couldn't really get any further. But it was just in the meantime to keep me fit to get to the age of when I could start rallying, basically.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very talented family. Malcolm, what about you? You know, we're knowing you in the Speedway here in New Zealand and obviously what you've done with rallying. Was there anything else that you dabbled in as other sports?
I played hockey at high school. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
captain of our hockey team in the high school. So, yeah, that was about it. Too small to play rugby. I mean, rugby's a good game, but, yeah, I was just going to get bowled by the big bros and all the Samoans and the Islanders. Cool, hey, bro. So just That just flattered me, but if I had a stick in my hand, they couldn't pick on me. So that's where hockey came in, eh?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Hey.
So yeah, no, just hockey.
I played
Yeah.
a bit of that too.
Yeah, the old
Yeah.
field hockey. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, and the good thing about it, you can share those memories of years gone by, and you still can have a good laugh about it. You know, they'll never disappear. Right? There's good times
Yeah,
growing
good.
up, and like you say, the enjoyment that you get out of it. But you know, your focus is obviously this weekend. It's going to be a big weekend, eh?
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing with this weekend's it's a lot of stage miles, but it's probably the timings. You know, we've got Ricky over the next couple of days, which is always quite quite arduous in the sense of timing and stuff like that. And then you got the video reviews at night. But on Friday night we're going to be in the square from I think 4:30 onwards, and then we head to the arena. It's a bit like the old teams champs. You know, we all line up at the square there. We head off to the arena, and then yeah, the first stage is around the speedway track. So quite looking forward to that. I mean, the last time I was there was teams champs, so yeah, it should be quite good. But the Saturday starts at 4 a.m. We exit the Park Ferme, which is at the arena. So you know, when you consider 4 a.m. start, you're out there doing the first stage at 5 a.m. and we're not back at the arena until about 5:30 at night. You know, 12, 13 hours in the rally car all day non-stop is, yeah, that's going to be quite an endurance in itself. So the stage miles is one thing, but I think keeping that concentration level up and being switched on, especially late in that afternoon, is probably going to be a bit of the killer. There'll be a few people that start lagging and stage times and things like that, you know, just from the concentration level.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that myself, actually, being up at 3 o'clock Saturday morning to go and park up at the bloody arena so I can do the rally radio for everybody. So but that's what I'm committed to, I suppose, so I'll have to do it. But yeah, that's but I believe
still
as
on
well
his
that
time.
I do believe that you'll be driving from the square to the arena as well. So they've got permission, and the New Zealand Transport Service is going to green light you all the way. So all the lights are going to turn green for you guys to go full Monty all the way from the square to the showgrounds.
Yeah, that'll be great, because I'm car 2 on the road behind Hayden. So we'll actually, do that formation, get to the arena, and then it'll be, from what I can tell, Malcolm, change it if I'm wrong, but I think I'll be starting on one side of the arena and Hayden starting on the other, and we'll both be racing at the same time. So I think I've drawn the short straw there to go straight up against Hayden, but someone had to do it, I guess.
Well, you're probably lucky it wasn't Malcolm. He might have stopped to block halfway around, so...
There's a bit of a story here.
The old team tactics. We're gonna have to teach Brendo about the old teams racing. Yeah, we'll have to clue him up.
You mentioned Malcolm bringing him out
to some videos.
Some videos,
After this, we'll have a look at some videos.
That'll be good.
Because Hayden actually just recently raced in a celebrity race in a Superstock in Rotorua, you know, not that long ago. So he knows what they're about. They got bumpers and they got a wall to put a car up. But you know, you'll have fun. I know you'll have fun.
All I know is
there's a few rally drivers doing it. Yeah, like Matt. I think Matt Summerfield's doing it. Shane Van Gisbergen was having a crack as well. So yeah, I might have to sign my name up.
Aussie team.
To talk to, mate. You mind you? I remember showing some of the Aussies when I lived over there. I said, "This is a team chance back home," and they all just went, "Oh, you fellas are mad." So, I'd be interested to hear what Malcolm tells us after he shows you some of the videos. To be fair,
I'll update you guys for sure. I
remember.
Superstocks is definitely the Superstocks is definitely close to my heart, as you boys know. It's certainly something that I talk about overseas quite a bit with a few of the guys. So yeah, I'll clue Brendo up. It's a sport like no other. But rallying this weekend, and that's going to be certainly quite cool. You know, you've got 60 rally cars that will go in convoy from the square there. So, you know, 60 cars all in convoy is quite a sight. So, you know, if any of the locals out and about, I'm pretty sure they'll soon recognise that the rally's in town, especially with the arena both Friday and Saturday night. Yeah.
Did you been running so long? Malcolm, had you done a Daybreaker before when it used to be on back in the day, or was that out of your time?
No, they sort of it sort of changed. It was still early starts, but it wasn't quite this early. I think the last one I'd done, which was this early, was sort of about 2007, and that was like a 5 a.m. start. So by the time the first stage started, it wasn't quite dark. But this year's proper. I mean, it needs to be the proper midnight one. We should just go straight to the arena and then straight out stages. That'd be better. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
But-
yeah, do it proper.
So being
So-
previous Daybreakers before, it wouldn't have taken much to convince you when Emma said, "Oh, do you want to come co-drive for the Daybreaker?" Would it?
No, it's I mean it's quite a unique event, and this one for me actually, this rally in general actually marks the 20th anniversary of me doing my first ever rally. So
Wow.
yeah, 2004 was my first stage rally because back then you had to have your civil driver's license, of course, to enter a rally fully. Now the rules have changed and the co-driver doesn't have to have his license. So you can do sprints and stuff from the age of 12, but you had to have your actual driver's license to do a proper rally back when I was, sort of 15, 16. So yeah, this weekend marks the 20th anniversary, so to speak. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit old.
That's a hell of a milestone to have, though, mate. I tell you.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Yeah,
know how
so
you
it's,
gentlemen are both talking about the early hours, whether it's a 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., like Booker said, he's got to be there real early to do the radio thing. How do you, and I'll start with you, Brendan, we'll start with you, Brendan. How do you
Yep.
prepare yourself for the early morning rise? See, Wayne Norton kind of struggle to get up at shit a bit o'clock. That's a pretty
Yeah.
formal comment, but you're a driver, you're a racer. How do you prepare yourself for the early hours? Are you in bed like 6 o'clock in the evening, 7 o'clock? But I'm guessing you got preparation to do. How does that all work for you?
So with having to fly over from Australia, booked a pretty early flight, so we had to be up at 2:30 on Monday morning, and I was just trying to get myself on a bit of a schedule where it's going to work for this weekend. So I've already had a couple of days of some early rises, and then Australia's 2 hours behind already. So I'm a little bit sort of used to the different schedule, but just trying to, as soon as I got my feet on the ground here, trying to get up nice and early and get into a bit of a routine already. A bit like when you try and get over jet lag or settle yourself in, to a new location. And then back in Australia the night before we left, I did a fair bit of night driving just in my four-wheel drive, just through the bush, just to really think about the approach and the way you read the road and whatnot, because the last rally I did in Australia had some night stages, but it was back in June, so it was a little while ago. It's not something that you really get to practice, but even just driving through the bush in a road car really starts to make you think a lot and start to read the road and mentally prepare for it.
But you, Malcolm, these early morning starts, how much sleep are you living on? 3 hours?
Yeah, I've been involved in the WRC. It's certainly short hours. We've had the odd time where we've had super rallies where the cars have had to be fixed, and you're not putting the car away at Park Ferme till 2 a.m, and then you've still got to be back in the service to start the day again at 6 a.m. So I've certainly become quite accustomed to short sleep. Having come straight from Greece, I'm a bit like Brendo here in the sense of my time zone's probably a bit out of whack. I think last night I was pretty much asleep by 9, but then I woke at about 2:30 in the morning. So yeah, she's well out of whack. So after this interview, I'll probably go to bed and I'll be up again at 3 in the morning. So yeah, my time zone's it doesn't really know where it is. So it's probably a blessing coming to this event straight from Greece. In that sense anyway, that I'll naturally be wanting to wake up at that sort of time.
So where do you both get time to eat in amongst this? Normal people get up breakfast, lunch, and tea, but everything's all out of whack for you guys. Where do you get an opportunity? People got to wake up and have a bloody coffee these days. But where do you get opportunities to do some of that within your busy lifestyle when preparation for a car and then preparing yourself for racing? Where do you get any time to do what a normal person would do? with food?
It's more suited for Malcolm, that question, probably. But like, my family business is earth moving, so we're generally up and about pretty early anyway, back at home and doing long days. So I think if you're consistently doing it, you're just used to it and you just make it happen, and it doesn't really seem a problem. But I'm telling you what can prepare you for it's having 2 young kids, because I've just gone through that the last 4 years, and that's not easy. Yeah.
Me and kids
That
have both
certainly
been through
prepared you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many 2 a.m. wake ups and 5 a.m. wake ups. And, I need to get to work now. Oh, just change the nappy before you go, So, yeah, that's certainly changed my life the last few years. But it's really cool to be back at a rally and use some of that experience.
You're similar, Malcolm, in similar situation.
Oh, not with the kids, bro. No, more just for me, it's I've always been naturally a snack eater, so you sort of learn to your body naturally. Like I can get up and I don't like eating straight away. I can get up and probably operate for 2 hours before I'll actually start to feel hungry. So for this weekend, it's probably not so bad. We go out, bit of a tour. I think it's about an hour out to the first stage. And then we do the first 2 stages, and then it's a service. So by the time I get to that service, I'll probably naturally feel like I'm wanting to eat. But generally in the rally car and even at the top level, the guys get packed like your health bars and your nutritious bars and things like that. Those sort of protein type based snacks to just keep the fuel in you. So even at the top level, the guys aren't having a big sit down, full English breakfast before they go out rallying. They'll have a banana or yogurt, things like that, but in the rally car will be a couple of snack bars, and then when they get to the first regroup, they'll have maybe a sandwich or a roll, or, lettuce and things like that. So it's to race on a full stomach's actually quite unnerving. Like it's no one goes to a theme park having had a big lunch either. So that's basically what we're doing. You've got belts on which are constricting and things like that. So you're kind of just putting enough in you to keep you fueled without feeling too full. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Look, people are putting questions in. I'm just going to switch quickly back for you, Rito, to Speedway. Big question for Rito. Are we going to see you back in the Superstock?
Oh, I still got it. It's still there. One of the guys that went for a ride today, funny enough, was Scotty Myers. So I had a very good chat with him today, actually. And he was asking all about it as well. So as I said to him, I was like, I just need the car basically prepared. Unfortunately, with my job and being based now in the UK, it's quite hard to get back here. But I mean, if the car was pretty much ready to go, I think I could soon switch on to getting back in and getting back in. I don't think I'd need much convincing to sit on the brakes and try to take someone out. So certainly for me, it's probably more a preparation thing. I'm not here to prepare the car and put all my effort into getting the car ready. That's the hardest part. The actual driving's the easy bit. So it's still sitting there. It's still highly on my mind to get back in it. That's why I haven't sold it.
Well, you left your mark out there on the track, Palmy, during the team's event you were last at, and obviously you're aware how things have developed over the last couple of seasons with the Glen Eagles and how that's been going. And it's going to be a formidable one coming up February again in 2025. Everyone talks about the 3-peat and everything like that, and but about Asher Reeves doing that, obviously. With the NZ titles, but just so I clarify that because everyone's asking about it.
I still talk to the boys quite a bit.
Malcolm were talking about that today, and I said it's going to happen. People are going to ask. They're going to want to know what's Malcolm Reed doing with that super stock.
yeah, exactly. That's still sitting there, and I still, still have quite a bit of contact with Malcolm Nartai and Jaden and all the guys as well. So still certainly taking notice, even though I'm based on the other side of the world. The only one that's made me laugh recently is, I've caught up with Frankie Wayman a few times and things like that. So, maybe the GB team might need an extra car.
You're definitely going to have to get Brendan along to something like this, just to experience it. We touched on it earlier, and yeah, you're going to have to, Brendan, come out if you get some time off. Always around early February. It's always a Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sundays. It has been recently, but it's gone back to Friday. So you're going to have to make a trip over, and it makes sure Malcolm's there to tell you all about it.
Yeah, it sounds really fun.
I mean, I think Brendo, the one I'll tee up to push Brendo along is, of course, Amy is Brendo's co-driver this weekend, and she used to be on my pit crew, of course.
Oh.
So she used to help at the the team champs and all that. So if I just tell her to tell him, I'm sure he'll probably get an earful on every touring stage about the team champs. So yeah.
Hey, we spoke a bit about earlier at the start of our show, because our show is brought to you by GARAGE16. Our good friend Darren Lewis won an online racing thing we do. Have either of you two dabbled in online racing, whether it be dirt rally racing, on the sim, or world rally cars? Have you done anything like that, or are you going to tell me you've done Colin McRae on PlayStation?
Well, currently I play against my daughter Super Mario, so that's a lot of fun. And my wife hates it because I'm really good at it, and I want to win, and then my daughter cries. So we've sort of got to change the tactics there. But no, the last couple of years I've set up a simulator at home. So that's been a lot of fun. I had a friend who owns a company just back in Australia, Sim School. So he helped me set it up, and we actually did a contro deal. So I've got a test track at my place. So I did some driver tuition for him in his XL rally car. We'll let him use the track, and he's helped me build this simulator. So I actually got on it a little bit before I come here. I couldn't quite get the latest WRC game working in time. My computer crashed, but I started using the Dirt Rally 2.0, and that's a really good game as well. So I'm not as good as like Hayden and Luca are on it for sure, but I still have fun doing it. To me, it does feel quite similar, and there's definitely things in there that I can get a bit of seat time and pick up some stuff, especially when you haven't been in a car for a long time.
You, Malcolm, you ever dabbled in sim stuff?
Yeah, briefly. At the moment, currently, I've got a simulator back in the UK with PS5 set up for the latest WRC game, the one that Brendo couldn't get to work. So quite a group of us from M Sport play every now and again and race it and things like that. And for me, I probably prefer it from just keeping my mind fresh, like trying to play the game quite competitively and drive quickly and listen to pace notes. It makes you have to think quite quickly, sharp thinking. So, which is basically what we're trying to do when we're reading pace notes. You've got to stay alert and stay concentrating. So, for me, it's like headphones on and things like that, and you switch on to the game. It makes you, it just brings that alertness up, because there's not many things you can do that stimulates your mind to be alert. And especially with rallying, because it's similar doing the game, it then makes you think about the process of things coming up quick, your fast corners down into a slow corner and the process of it all. So, ironically, I use it probably more to try to keep my mind mentally active for co-driving, especially seem like I can't, unfortunately, do as much as I'd like to at the moment. But yeah, that's why it's good to taking this opportunity to come back and sit with Emma for the last 3 rounds of the New Zealand Championship. It's managed to work out pretty good with the WRC schedule. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's quite a common thing where a lot of motorsport drivers around the world, adapting to their sim side of thing. Like you say, it's in preparation. Doesn't matter what they race in motorsports. A lot of them do it now. And just thought we'd ask you a bit about that, because as we're spoken to speedway drivers, book over the years, they watch so many video clips now, and some of them dabble in the sim stuff just to get prepared for things. And it's just bloody good. Just thought I'll throw that in there. The other big thing fans love is merch, merchandise and everything. Look, there's the Daybreaker merchandise. Have you guys got? Are you able to sell individual stuff there, or is it all just aside for Daybreaker? Do you have anything available?
I don't have anything available, but I've got some like stickers and keychains and things like that I've brought over with me. But back at home at rallies and stuff, if someone DMs me or something, I can certainly send them out a hoodie like this one, or a shirt or whatnot, because usually I'm rallying a Datsun 1600. So that's what I've sort of got my merchandise based around. But here I'm lucky enough to be sort of driving for Hyundai Australia. And Hayden's got the Hyundai New Zealand support, so I'll be mainly in their gear on the weekend.
Love it. That's in 1600. I love that.
Yeah, you can see, I'll show you. See, drive like Brendo. Can you see that?
It's cool. Love it.
Yeah.
You, Malcolm, with all the traveling you've done around the world, have you got anything available for fans or anything that people can?
Yeah, so Emma certainly does. Not myself,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but
Okay.
teamed up with Emma, of course. So she's got posters and things like that of the Vantage Citroen. So we've got all bits and pieces like that. So there's a signing session, of course, in Fielding, and of course tomorrow night, Friday night, sorry, at the Square. So there'll be all posters about and things like that for anyone that wants to come along and grab one. So yeah, she's got plenty of giveaways in that sense. And I think she does do some merchandise. I'm not sure if she's got some here or if it's an online type thing, but definitely posters.
Booker, you're going to be doing part of the rally radio. You've got some early morning starts over the next few days.
Yeah, apparently. Well, the R2G Rally Radio has been. We did it for the we did it for the Otago, and we did it for the Southern Lights Rally, where every hour on the hour you can tune into R2G site and listen to their radio, and there'll be live updates of what's happening in the rally. So I normally talk with another gentleman that comes in and gives me all the updates and all the info, and we also have Lance Hasty, which is normally out in the field interviewing you guys as you pull into your end of rally stages and stuff like that. So every hour on the hour we have that, or come on for a end of stage, and people can tune in and listen to what's happening in the rally. I think Rally New Zealand also have some stages they live stream, but every hour on the hour the radio will be giving live updates for the rally, so you can see who your favorite driver is placed and times and everything like that. And it's actually quite an interesting 5-10 minutes every hour that we bring. Like, there's all sorts of information that's given out. So if you are wanting to tune in, it's R2G. You can look up R2G on Facebook, and then you can see their webpage as well, which has got all that information. Of course, R2G are who are running this event, the Daybreaker event. Ran the although that's who Tony and Paul, T-Mac and Paul, that we had on the other week, that people would have seen. The time and effort that those two put in to bring this rally for everybody is incredible. I mean, you guys must see the work they do, and you got to take your hat off to those two guys, don't you, for the amount of effort and time that's going into this.
Absolutely. It's a whole year's worth of work, and they get the little bit of reward out of it compared to us. We're the ones that get to drive the roads and experience it. So it's so important that we need people like that running rallies and putting the rallies out there for us all. It's amazing, and it's definitely in Australia that they're sort of struggling to get younger people into running rallies and things like that. So if anyone doesn't want to drive, it's certainly a great way to get into sport and run an event and put something on. We'll all get there and support it.
And or even volunteer. Like, you think over the next few days we're doing 191 kilometers of roads. So on those roads there's many access roads and things like that which need block marshals and volunteers to stop people that want to try to drive on the road when the road's closed. So even if you just want to volunteer and get out there and be a block marshal or timing crews, that's another great way to get involved.
Personal spectator point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's certainly different aspects to being involved in the sport, rather than just being a competitor. If you enjoy the sport and love it, and you don't have, unfortunately, thousands behind you, either sponsors or businesses or money, it's a cheap way to be involved in the sport without even having to spend thousands. Pack a lunch and go out and be a block marshal, and do some spectating. Like, why not?
That's right. I mean, our sport needs, this sport and all sports need volunteers to come and help do that stuff, and to start at that level, you never know where it'll lead to. So and if you love a sport, then love a motorsport, then get involved. You know, like it's just it'll be so rewarding. And like the volunteers that have volunteered for this Daybreaker, I know Tony and Paul will do everything in their power to make them feel so welcome and look after them. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And the fun thing about this rally, you could camp overnight on the Friday, and
it's like anything. You can
stay
make
at
it.
the
You know,
stage.
yeah. If you had a group of mates go out and be a block marshal, go out there and camp. You know, take a barbecue or something like that. So it's what you make it too. So yes, okay, volunteering's not ideal. Everyone would love to be in the seat and driving and stuff like that, but that costs a lot of money. Where you know create your fun in a different way and become a volunteer.
Yeah, 100% right. Segway on put something here for you, Booker. Hourly updates with Craig on the wireless. Sounds like a bit of you, eh? Sounds like a bit of you.
I don't do much talking on the updates. I just sort of control all the buttons and make sure it goes out to the right places.
And Colin Clark as well.
From Dirtfish, he's an amazing guy. Amazing guy.
Yeah.
Real funny too. He really knows his stuff on Colin Clark. Hey.
Yeah.
Blair Bartels, Dale Budge will be there as well, NZRC. So there's a lot of coverage, which is good to see. Scott Honeybone, he'll be watching the whole bloody thing.
Loves it.
Yeah.
No, he's an avid fan, and it's good to see. You know, Scott's certainly one of the more positive people that's out there. You know, we're having that chat today about people being positive about things, weren't we? You know, and he's certainly one that's quite positive about stuff online. So you know, don't knock things, just get involved. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And that's right, Brendan. Yeah, the fans, they mean so much to it, you know, when they turn out to watch and see what you do, because, you know, one day they dream to be just like you. But, hey, those fans are so important.
Oh, absolutely. If they're not there, we can't be there either. So we were all one of them, and we still are them sometimes. This is only my third rally for the year. So I still go and help at rallies or watch or do some driver training or whatever it is, because we love and we live and breathe the sport. So you want to be involved in any way you can, and you know sometimes watching it behind a bit of safety tape's just as fun as it is driving. So yeah, get out there and support it. Yeah, a lot cheaper.
But he's right, eh, Malcolm? You know, the fans, they'll turn up, and that's what it's all about. They'll be the early hours of the morning, get their best posse, and like you say, sit there with some mates, have a barbecue, have a good laugh and enjoy it, watch the cars go by and just lap it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just get involved. Yeah, it's get outdoors too, you know? Like what's the point of owning winter clothes if they're just going to sit in your wardrobe and you don't go out?
Fair enough. Good point, eh?
Yeah.
Well, today was a perfect day for it. I mean, shit out there.
Oh,
it was just incredible. Just incredible out there.
It was magic.
You could hear T-Mac's car going all the way over the bloody hill. Shit. I'll tell you what, those cars, when you guys come back around that final corner before the bridge there, when you change it down so quick, that's a loud pop, bang, bang out of the exhaust, isn't it? Is that because you brake hitting it so hard on the picks that too much fuel's just getting dumped causing that, or is that what that is, or?
When you're off the throttle, the anti-lag's going, keeping the turbo spinning. So when you get back on the throttle, the idea is you got instant power ready to go and there's no lag. Yeah, and then in the downhill section, like we're doing there at the end of the stage today, it's so steep and downhill, so you're braking probably longer and heavier than you normally would. So yeah, the anti-lag's pretty aggressive there, and then it was echoing up through the valley, which sounded really cool.
It did sound cool. I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Yeah, it's very cool.
You'll get that even more aggressive if someone does you might have heard Hayden did some launch control starts, and it's super aggressive in that situation because the driver might sit on the throttle, like full throttle at 6,000 RPM for 5-6 seconds, and the turbo's just going
build the boost.
Yeah, building the boost, bang, 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 and it starts throwing flames. So you imagine that at 5 a.m. out at stage one. That'll be awesome.
Well,
or midpoint, you know, a midpoint of the stage or something like that. Brakes are going to be glowing. There'll be flames being shot out of exhaust. It'll be quite cool. It's going to be an early morning, but to be spectating at that time in the morning will be pretty cool as well, actually.
Yeah. And I heard him do that start, and he had one of the sponsors in the car with him to go the last lady I think he took out, and he fair give it to that corner. Man, if that was me in the seat, I would have been white knuckling the seat, thinking, "Geez, there's a corner there," because man, it took off.
Oh yeah, it's like a kick in the back. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Oh well,
Just
that's it. That's it's been a good chat,
Unreal.
gentlemen. Actually, it's
Yeah.
we're getting close to the end now, but we appreciate you taking the time, and we know you got a big day tomorrow of recce. Big day of recce tomorrow,
Yep.
isn't it? And
Yeah.
so
Toronto's not too bad. Afternoon recce, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to go and set up the lights on my car now, because we didn't get a chance to test in the dark, so I'll just go, out and have a drive of the car and set up the light pod. Just that thing about being prepared,
yeah.
So is there anyone you want to thank, Brendan? Before we wrap things up, before you head off and do what you're going to do, you want to thank anyone out there that's been part of bringing you over to New Zealand?
Yeah, so mainly for me, it's been Hyundai and Air Australia. They've been amazing support, and then the Pad and Rally group getting me here and preparing the car so well. Like seeing the boys work today was just unreal, and then also Amy for sitting beside me. I don't know if I'd sit beside myself. So yeah, thanks so much for her at short notice and jumping in the car. It's going to be great.
Yeah, Malcolm, anyone you want to thank?
You just definitely Emma. It was certainly out of the blue. We're just chatting about work and how things were going overseas, and then she was, "Oh, any chance you coming home?" And I was like, "No, not really." And it just sort of this conversation that stemmed from that. So and then luckily with work, the next few rounds of the WRC are in the southern hemisphere. Or this part of the world, we've got Chile next and Japan. So in terms of flights, work was actually more than happy to accommodate flying me from New Zealand to these events rather than the UK. So it certainly worked out quite all right. So between Emma and work, that's basically I'm quite happy that they've managed to get me home. And I think there's actually a practice when I come back for the next round. There's a practice down at Woodford that could potentially mean the Superstock could come out. I think I might still be around for that. So so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. Oh, you gotta love it. You just gotta love it. The entertainment, like you say, the sparks, the bangs, the glowing early hours of the morning. It's not often you get a chance to see this. So if you can get near part of Daybreaker coming up this weekend, do it and jump online, brendanreeves.com.au. All the information there keeps you up to date on what's going on with this man and all the sports merchandise, photos, videos, contacts. Everything you want to find out is all there. But otherwise, check out rallygroup.com. Has everything on Daybreak. Everything you need to know about that. So you get your information. Even if you want to be a volunteer, you can still register and even recognize all the sponsors that help out the people that put on all that all great work. Gentlemen, Malcolm, I know you got to go and have a sleep. Brendan, you're going to go have a bite.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you both and all the best, eh? Good luck. And thank you again for joining
Thanks, guys.
us.
Appreciate the time, mate.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Wicked. That was cool.
That was good fun. Well, no, there's good, some interesting stories there and notes to know, isn't it? And there's a lot more to that sport than you actually realise. It's not just jump in it and put your foot right up it and have someone tell you left, right, left, and there's so much more involved. And I saw that today out there with the amount of changes and stuff going on with cars and things like that. And even when I saw Emma and Malcolm jump out and do practice a tyre change, I mean, that's you would never think that they'd do that type of thing as well, so very cool.
Oh, it is cool. It is cool, and for everyone who wants to check it out, everywhere is online as well. There's the information there. But now it's been awesome, Now I want to go out and get my Super Mario Kart game out and have a bit of a dabble at it. Have a race around on that. Hey, once again, thanks to GARAGE16 for supporting us here on TRACKSIDE with Kokpit. You can keep an eye on us on our Facebook page, and we'll continue on doing the show. But Book's good to see you again, mate.
Yeah,
enjoy
you
your
too,
week, early hours, and we'll catch up again next Wednesday.
Yeah, we should be starting our North Island tour of the promoters around the North Island next week. So stay tuned for that, for the first track that we'll talk to in the North Island and see how they tell us about their seasons up and coming.
I've seen your home track, Miani, release their calendar as well. Just seen they come out this afternoon. But like you say, we'll catch up with them. Thank you to all of the viewers. Thank you for the wonderful comments. Enjoy the rest of the week. enjoy upcoming weekend. Take care out there. We'll catch you back next Wednesday at 7:30. See yous.
See yous. Thank you. Holy snapping duck shit.
My good mate from Bump and Run Booker joins us.
I'm excited for another great show tonight. Give it the hoot now.